Say all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Whoa, hold on now. Hey. Oh, well. Look who's here. Look who decided to show up for work today. Hi, bonjour, babes. Oh, the camera, and the new set, and the new set, and the new set, and the camera. Look at that. Look at that. It almost looks like I have a drone, but I don't. I am your drone, madam or sir, whoever's watching this. Hi. Oh my goodness. Am I excited to see yous? Yous don't even understand. I have been missing yous. Did you see the set? We're here on set of Get Wood. There it is, little Kama Sutra pop-up Kama Sutra. That's right. Hi, my name's Jess Wood. This is Get Wood. You know, it's always a little scrambly for me to start. I don't know why. Do I wear the glasses today? Oh, she looks like a sexy librarian. I am here for you with over a month of makeup stories. You've heard of makeup sex. Well, this is makeup stories because guess who? I'm not naked, but I am soliciting some breasts. I want to tell you when I look. I want to tell you, hi, first of all, I've missed you. ¿Cómo estás? I hope bien. It's been so much has happened since we last hung around each other. I can't even believe how much has happened. First of all, Nixon 5. Nixon 5. Yeah. How do you like them apples? Also, haircut. Sure. It's short, but I like it. It's kind of sassy. And I got it cut in my neighborhood. And so if you know, if you don't, I live in Chinatown, and the man cut it, and he came right up to my face when he was finishing, and he goes, "Oh, so cutie lady." I was like, "Thank you, sir." Oh my goodness, cutie lady out in the streets. We outside. Okay, first of all, thank you. I want to do huge thank yous to Miss Chris and Miss Poles. And you know who you are. And I would like to say thank you for following up with me, for checking in with me, for asking how and when we're going to have the show back, and you know how you're going to have a set together and what your boobs are going to look like. Like, they were so good and inquisitive with me, and I just want to say thank you, ladies. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about my new comedy album, Breaking Bad Barbie. It's kind of a no-brainer. We're going to be talking about smoking with strangers and a fantastical interaction I had with some dudes. We're going to talk about the Mermaid Parade 420. I can't believe how many things we haven't had together. We have missed each other for so long. So, first of all, I would like to talk about my new album, the comedy stylings of Jess Wood. That's me, your pal Jess. And such album cuts as Let's Go Stabbing, Gen X Finger Bang for the Win, Mama Raised Me a Vegan Witch on Welfare. These are some of the cuts on my album. Cuts. It's true. That's what they are. They're songs, but they're my jokes, but it's the album. So fucking cool. So I'm very excited to be releasing it. It is getting the actual record release is on July 14th, but the pre-sale is happening, and you can click on the link in the thingy, and you can pre-sale on Spotify. And if you're already a subscriber to Spotify, you get my album automatically. And if you're not, they will tell you how to purchase it. And it's not very much money. You know, nobody makes money online. Anyway, so I've got the Breaking Bad Barbie record album digitally. A lot of the Gen X people and older millennials are like, hey, wait a second. Are you going to have a vinyl? Are we going to have vinyl? Can we touch it? Can I touch it? That's what I want to know. Can I touch it? And so I'm going to inquire because they say, oh, it's a bit more, you have to pay for the vinyl and it's a little expensive. And I'm like, yeah, but if it's once in a lifetime situation and other people want to buy the vinyl album, let's do it. So I had a photo shoot. It was in my neighborhood. My spectacular photographer, Maureen Drennan, you can go look her up. She has been featured. Her fucking work is in the Smithsonian. What? That's insane. In Smithsonian, she's had her work displayed upon numerous New York streets, galleries, spaces. She is a tremendous woman who I love and adore, and spectacular photographer. And also, we go so far back to the 1990s when we used to work at a weed delivery service together. That's right. That's how far back we go. So, hooray, Maureen. So that was my photographer. Then I had my stylist and art director, Miss Ivy. Ivy, which you can follow her on Love on Health. She's an acupuncturist. She's an artist. She's a healer. She's a beauty. She's one of my best friends. And she was there at the shoot because, the photographer is framing it in. They're trying to figure out how best to frame. And I'm just like trying to give my, spunky, sexy best. And then could be a flyaway hair or some sort of weirdness happening with my outfit. So Ivy was there. She was straightening necklaces. She was doing my outfit situation. It was fan fucking tastic to have women as a woman, to have women in your corner and pulling for you, working for you, fighting for you, supporting you. It's just chef's kiss. You heard? You heard? So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to Maureen and to Ivy and to all of my Chinese neighbors who waved and gave me the thumbs up when I was getting my pictures taken in the streets. Hey, and a little kid, you look so pretty. And I was like, thank you. See, Wu-Tang also for the children, Breaking Bad Barbie for the children. So I was very excited to have that happen. And I have all these photos that you can go look at on Instagram. I am slowly but surely releasing them to the world. And I'm very excited about it. So on to tell you, the pre-sale is on June 30th is when the pre-sale starts. So in just a few days, that is what? Tuesday. And guess what happens on Monday? That's strawberry full moon. What? So it's all like happening. Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn. What's your sign? Let me know in the comments. And I'm a Capricorn full moon, strawberry moon. Everything's in Cancer right now. We're in Cancer season, very emo. I already cried today. Thank you very much. But that is not the most exciting thing that happens on my pre-sale date. The most exciting thing to me that happens on my pre-sale date, June 30th, Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. Sign up for it next Tuesday. Hi, Hunty. So what happens that day also besides my pre-sale? Let us pray. Robin Bird's documentary gets released to the streaming. Robin Bird, if you don't know Robin Bird, please, after the show, go and Googs. Because if you don't know Robin Bird, I'm just going to tell you, she was a crocheted bikini clad, that's right, crocheted bikini clad hostess of a late night show on cable access. That's right. That was called The Robin Bird Show. And what did she do on this show, you ask? Well, let me tell you. She showcased all of the strippers that came into town and were doing different strip joints, and she would have them. And you know who she had on all the time? Heather Hunter. And she always would go, Heather Hunter. And she had a song, a theme song, like how I used to have. And I'm going to build one back again. But I had to change it up a little, my sweet peas, because sometimes it just gets too old and too, I don't know, monotonous. Yeah. Even though, look, I still sing theme songs from TV shows from the 80s, 70s, 90s. I do. Because we're living single in 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girls. So I understand if you miss the theme song, but you understand that I'm trying to chalk it up to another level up here. So we're going to figure that out. Anyway, I say all these things because Robin Bird had a theme song, and it went a little something like this. Hit it, baby, won't you bang my box? Baby, won't you bang my box? Baby, won't you bang my box? It's really just, baby, won't you bang my box? But what a good time. And I concur. Yes, please. A baby, won't you bang my box? So she would host these delightful young men and women and have them all dance on their own. They did their little strip tease. She had them in showcasing for their scene, introducing, Heather Hunter. And then Heather would go and do her thing and strip down and the whole shebang. So at the end of the show, all the kids who had performed, hey kids, gather round. It's time to hang with our great friend Robin Bird. They would all sit around Robin while she would lay kind of like a harem, but she was the prince, and they were her harem. And and everyone would kind of sing, she'd sing the song, Baby, won't you bang my box? And all the strippers were around her, but they just didn't sit there. No, she would take a flaccid penis and make like a, baby, won't you, and then she'd do like a tweak of a titty. Remember like how Diana Ross did to, Lil Kim that time at the MTV Music Award. So just a little, and baby wants and it was so fantastic. So here I am, Jess Wood, just a product of watching Robin Bird. I am Robin Bird and Howard Stern's love child. I'm pretty sure. Wouldn't you say? That was kind of a good combination. I mean, last night I did a show, and the girl who introduced the young woman, the delightful human witch being that she was, she said she will bring you the most delightful stories, and you may also wish to grab your pearls in the meantime. I love that. It is true. So I guess Robin Bird and Howard Stern both make you grab your pearls. But anyways, Robin Bird, I really can't wait to meet you. I hope that we get to sing Bang Your Box together, and perhaps I'll have you on the podcast and you could sit right there and we would talk about sex and sexuality and how uptight everybody is now and all the things that we've lost, but also really funny, wonderful things that she brought to light. She was really the first woman to ever do such a thing. So to me, hero, heroine, get that away from me. I don't do that anymore. But really, she is something else. So June 30th, go get my pre-sale, get the pre-sale link and order my album and go and watch Robin Bird. Baby, why don't you bang my box? Ow. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, Nixon 5. And I'm not saying President Nixon. If no one knows, if you've been under a rock the last month, you know what I'm talking about. The New York Knicks, not only did they didn't sweep, but not only did they kill it on the court, but they were fucking behind almost every single game. They were behind. Remember the 29 points behind at the one game, and then they came back and they Nixon 5. So now in New York City, everyone walks around and to say a greeting, you go, hey, Nixon 5. Hi, Nixon 5. Hi, Nixon 5. And when I was walking home from my waitressing job, just a couple of nights a week, but I walk home, I would walk down a street that had a bunch of bars lining that street. And so and they all had so many people watching the finals. And some of them had TVs outside and some of them had TVs inside. But no matter what, there were always a bunch of people hanging around and watching the game. So I would walk a few blocks and then I'd stop and I watch the game with everybody. "Wah!" And then I'd freak out. And then I'd walk a few more blocks and stop and watch a little with somebody. "Ah!" And in New York City, strangers love each other. Strangers really just love each other. And especially when you have something that's like bonding everybody together. 52 years. This is, this championship is now a Gen Xer like ourselves. And so we welcome it with welcome arms and some hose water. You know what I mean? Like that's what we drank from the hose. And come back before the lights come on, Knicks. So Knicks in 5. Oh, just tremendous feeling. Everybody's so joyful. Everyone's so happy. Now, except for that one game, and he who shall not be mentioned was there, totally jinxed the fucking game. He loves walls. He put up a wall around MSG. He fucking made everybody pay for it here. Like we paid, the taxpayers of New York had to pay for him to go to this stupid so he would fall asleep in the box. I mean, he's just like, you know what, baby, you would fall asleep in the box. You couldn't bang my box. You'd fall asleep in the box. I saw it. I saw it with my own damn eyeballs. Oh, my eyeballs look a little tie-tie. I've had friends here. I had a boy here. It's been a real wild month since I've seen you. So anyway, because the Knicks win really changes the whole vibe of the city. Everyone is just so open and joyful and smiling, and people are walking around with everyone has a Knicks something on, Knicks hat, Knicks jersey, Knicks t-shirt, Knicks bag, Knicks, the dogs have it, the people have it. It's very, very cute, and everyone is just so excited. Now, what had happened during one of the games was I was home from work. I had walked home and I was watching the last few minutes of the fourth. And it must have been that game where they were 29 behind and they were coming back. And my auntie texted me, and she's 80 years old now. God bless that lady. And she's still smoking that weed, fucking, woo, just telling those jokes. Like I want to be like her when I grow up. So she texts me one word, all caps. Heart attack. Are you crazy? You're 80 years old. Don't text me heart attack. I don't know that you're talking about, don't you cry wolf about this fucking thing. So I called her. I go, hey, auntie, are you okay? She goes, I don't know. This game, it's making me crazy. It's like heart attack city. And I go, okay. But let's not at 80 years old be texting heart attack in full letters. Like, come on, give me a break. I can't handle it. My nervous system, as my mother used to say, Jessie, my nervous system is shot. Or she would actually say, Mama's nervous system is shot. Oh, really? Okay. Well, how do you think mine's going to be as a grown-up, being raised? I use that word very loosely, raised, or amongst you animals, monsters, strange, naked drug addicts. Anyway, so Knicks in 5. So then I had a show. Well, I've had many shows since I've seen you. I've had shows. I've seen rainbows. I know that rhymed. I didn't mean it for it to do that. I've been in shows. I've seen rainbows. I've been on the train a million times. I've also dealt with the renovation. The renovation next door, just in case you're paying attention, it continues. They just extended it another month. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing went a whole year. The way that it's going, it's been since the end of January that they've been renovating this apartment next door. And as far as I know, all the apartments here are the same. So I can't imagine. They must be redoing the entire place, and that pulling down walls. Every appliance must be out of there. The walls stripped, the floors stripped, the ceilings stripped. Who fucking knows? But all I know is they continue on. Renovations, rainbows, work time. But the shows have been wonderful. The shows have been a delight. I mean, I love performing, right? So, and I love you, and I've missed you, and I love this. And so But just a disclaimer, and I know I said this before on an earlier show back in May, but just to be a little vulnerable for a moment, because we all need to have a full personality. I mean, we don't need to, but I feel it's important for me. I didn't realize I didn't realize that the trip that I took to Arizona and the whole business with my stepmom really had such a heavy effect on me. It really had a heavier effect than I knew, and then I really wanted to acknowledge, and so now I realize, look, it knocked me out of the park for like a month. But I was still doing shows, and so I had to tell you that. And Miss Chris and Miss Poles checking on me helped me get through that, and I just want to thank you again. So may the fourth be with you. We missed that together. That I had so much fun. We had our 420 together, but right? Didn't we have our 420? No, we didn't have our 420 because did we? Yeah, we did. We did. We talked about 420. I did a show in Brooklyn, and it was a lot of stoners, which are not good audience members. And I am very good friends with stoners. I myself consider myself a stoner a bit, but I like to laugh, and I laugh out loud, and I, even if I'm stoned, I'm like, ha ha. But these stoners were like, ha. Yeah, that was really good. I really like that was good. Like, no, that's not enough. I need more. Like, I need more air right now. I have the windows closed, and it's very hot. It's very humid here in the summertime. So anyway, I did a show out in Brooklyn one night, and it was fantastic. It was on Fifth Avenue in Park Slope. And after the show, as usual, usually the host or whoever's running the show has a drink tab open at the bar. And because I don't drink, I, uh, you know, I don't need to go to the tab. But the women who were on the show were all going to get a drink. And I said, no, you know what? I usually like to smoke weed after a show. So I'm just gonna chill. And then, as if the gods heard me, as if the gods heard my call for weed, all of a sudden there was a smell coming from outside on Fifth Avenue. There was a smell of the weed. And like a cartoon from the olden days, like a Looney Tunes cartoon, the smell came in, it hit my nose, and I like went and floated out and followed the smell of the smoke. And it took me outside to the outside on Fifth Avenue. And there were these three black guys, and they were smoking weed. And they all had like Amazon stuff on, but they were hanging out in front of this truck. And so uh, being the polite stoner lady, I approached the circle, approached it very calmly and quietly, hands in prayer position for those of you only listening. And I said, excuse me, gentlemen, Nixon 5. I was wondering if I could join your circle. And they were taken aback, to say the least. They were so confused by me. And they said, what? And so I gave them the story that I just gave you, which is the real story. I said, I just finished a comedy show. They have a tab for drinks. I don't drink, but I do like to smoke, but I didn't bring anything to smoke. And then I smelled your guys' smoke, and I thought maybe I could partake with y'all. They were impressed. They were confused. They were a little ecstatic. They were excited to tell me how I had broken any kind of stereotype or, expectation of American who does what and who talks to who and how we all hang around. And so I was laughing and I said, well, what am I supposed to be scared of you guys? Like, fuck that. I go, I'm not scared of you guys. I'm more scared of a white guy or three white guys. I don't know if I'd even approach them unless they were like stoner dudes with like long hair and like doing a hacky sack or something. I don't know. I don't think I would approach them. So they were laughing. And one guy said, uh, I don't smoke with strangers. So, and then I said, well, I don't have like herpes or anything. And they started laughing. And he goes, no, it's the energy. It's the energy of it. I don't want to exchange energies with people I don't know. And I said, well, that's valid. That's really valid. And then there was a dude with locks. So the dude who said that had a bucket hat on. And then there was a dude with locks. Fine. He was so fine. Oh my God. He was fine. He's tall, cheekbones, dimples. He was fine. And he said, you know what? You impressed us so much and you just blew us right away. So I'm going to just give you a joint. How about that? We'll just give you a joint. And I was like, oh my God, no way. Let me give you some money. And they're like, no. Sharing weed is like sharing, life, soul, food. And I said, yeah, it's like sharing food. And they were like, yeah, it's like sharing food. So the locks dude, hot ass, gives me a bud in my hand. He just sets a bud down in my hand. And I go, oh, I don't have anything to smoke this with. And then he sets a paper down in my hand, paper next to the bud. Now I have to say in an embarrassed way, I don't really roll very well. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh shit, you want us to smoke it for you too? So it was like, they were taking the piss out of me. But my handsome, chivalrous gentleman grabbed all the stuff and went and rolled it in like 2 seconds. So here we are. I'm now smoking my own joint and the guys are passing theirs around. Now I get their names. I said, hey, my name's Jessica. What's yours names? And the guy with the bucket hat goes, oh, I'm Trini. And I said, ooh, as in Trinidad? And he goes, yeah. And I go, oh, brip and all that. Now that sent them a little over the edge. My handsome new boyfriend, he goes, wow, I've never heard brip used so properly. That was like the proper usage of brip. And I said, well, I do try. I do try to be proper in my etiquette. So there was Trini, as in Trinidad. There was my hot new boyfriend, Mo. And there was Brian. Now, Brian was like the funny dude out of the group. Like he was like the goofball out of the group. And Mo was like the spiritual, the kind of spiritual advisor of the group. And Trini was like curious and a little, perhaps, he's going to be a little suspect. He's going to be a little sus. And I respected that so much. So the four of us just got on like you couldn't believe. We were having the best time and we were talking about race and we were talking about how people are so weird about fucking, how people look. And at one point I just said to them, guys, you think I like looking like that? What did I say? You think I like walking around looking like this? And they fell out. I really had them going. I really had them laughing. And then at one point they remembered that I was a comedian. And I think Trini, he goes, hey, Jess, you said you're a comedian? Make us laugh. Tell us a joke. I go, excuse me, Trini. Pretty sure I've made you laugh like 5 times just now. And they were like, she's right. So we just had the best time. And I just love telling this story because, let's just be open with one another. Let's just be kind to one another. And unless someone does something that messes with you or messes with someone you love, just have faith, just put out the love. And then what could be bad? Like I think James Baldwin said it, that love is not very popular, but those of us who are passionate about it, keep it adrift. So I am passionate about love and I'm keeping it adrift. What memory drift. So did I tell you at the beginning, I'm going to make this a little bit longer since I haven't seen you in so long, my little boo-boo heads. So we're going to go a little bit longer than usual because right now, oh, I would have had to finish like in like a couple of minutes. And I'm only halfway, not even halfway down my list yet of my, I know sometimes you all think that I come here raw dogging it, and I am so not raw dogging it. Right now, if you're just on audio, I am showing my notes to the screen because let's prepare. I went through all of my photos, I went through all of my notes, I went through all of my calendars, and I wanted to get for you the most fun stuff that had happened with me since I've seen you last. Some of these sunsets I can't even describe. They're undescribable. The full moon that I got to see last month that come up in Coney, it's a spiritual experience. The solar the summer solstice, summer solstice. I went to the beach and I sat on said beach for the entirety of the day. I put myself into the water. I've been grounding in the sand and in the ocean. The ocean is so beautiful right now. I could see my feet all the way out, like walking all the way out in Brighton Beach, Coney Island. And excuse me very much, but there was dolphins spotted there the other day because that's right, bitch. It's fucking clean, crystal clear, gorgeous Coney Island. Now, speaking of Coney Island, can I get into it? Can I get into it? Oh no, let me make my way through the Brooklyn. Let me make my way through Brooklyn first of all. Okay, I've been doing this new job, and it's caretaking for people, and there are a couple of clients that I have that it's fine. Like I go on errands for them. I go to the grocery store, and they live in kind of this like ritzy kind of part of town in the city where like when I go on errands for them, I feel like I'm like the wealthy lady that's out and about and like, I'm just going to this specialty grocery store real quick. And I have to go to the library to return a few books and pick a few up that I've ordered. I also need a lamp fixed. So I shall take this lamp. So these are the kind of, it's almost like a task rabbit, but it's personal. Like I take their credit cards or I take their cash or I take their house keys or, these people trust me. I mean, there was an extensive background check and I passed it. Once a criminal, now an upstanding person in this country. In the country? I don't know. In the town. Anyway, I do this job, and one of my clients lives in Park Slope, Brooklyn, nearby where I met the guys and smoked with the guys. And it's right near Prospect Park. It's so beautiful in that area. If there weren't so many children, now I sound like my mom. Oh God, Jessica, if there weren't so many children, I'd love to live in that neighborhood, but there are too many children. It's horrible. My mom hated kids. Well, white kids. So there's a bodega. Oh, I just got a little hiccup. Pardon me. I got so excited to tell you about Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I did a show on 420 in Brooklyn, and the guy goes, the host was like, if y'all ready for your next comedian, say, you're. Mm-hmm. And they did. It was fun. I did as well. So anyway, I'm at this Brooklyn bodega in Park Slope. And it's one of these delis that like has everything you could possibly think of everything and anything, like from gummy worms to like gourmet peanut butter cups. You know what I mean? Like it's just insanely packed. It's every single row is filled with stuff. Every chip you can imagine. There were like brown maple flavored sunflower seeds, like just the most. Okay, at this bodega. But that means it's so packed, you can't really see. Like all you see is product, and then you kind of make a snake to the register to pay. So I'm behind some baked goods or something, and I hear loudly, go get your fucking shine box. And I'm like, who is quoting Goodfellas at the Brooklyn bodega? So I look at a dude, I didn't know he worked there, but I look at him and I go, did you just quote Goodfellas? And he goes, no me, hey. And he points up to the television that is like a 50 something inch television flat screen that's up on the wall of the bodega, like ceiling wall area. And it's playing Goodfellas. Full blast. Doesn't matter. There's kids coming in and out. There's a school nearby. It doesn't matter. This is Brooklyn. And this is his bodega. And he's going to play what he wants to fucking play in his bodega, okay? So I go, oh my God, this is amazing. Because, I'm a lover of the Goodfellas. So I'm watching. I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And the guy who had pointed said to me, yeah, my boss, he loved the Goodfellas. And I was like, oh yeah? And he goes, yeah, he got a painting of the Goodfellas. And I was like, he has a painting of Goodfellas? That's so cool. And as if he heard the owner, as if he heard, came out of the back and said, yo, who's talking about my painting? And I said, yo, I was talking about your painting. I want to see your painting. The moment he goes behind the register, he gets the painting, he comes back out into the area of the bodega where we're watching, just me and like another dude are watching Goodfellas, and he goes, hey, pause the movie. So whoever's in the register by the controls pauses the movie at the exact time with the scene, because if you remember, after Go Get Your Shine Box, they end up killing Billy Batts and putting him in the trunk of the car. And then he's banging on the car. He's not dead. And they pull over in the middle of the night to go to Joe Pesci's mom's house to get a knife and a shovel and stuff like that for their burying of Batts up in the mountains. Now, they go into the house. And of course she wakes up. And you know who this old woman is? That's Martin Scorsese's mom. Oh, I can't sleep when you're here. Let me make you some food. Are you hungry? Let me make you. Henry, sit down. I make you some food. So she goes and makes some food. And the next shot is them at the table. Here's where my guy's painting comes in. The mom picks up a painting and she says, have I ever shown you my artwork? And then Joe Pesci says, it's the two dogs and the guy in the lake, in the boat. And Joe Pesci says, this dog's going one way and this dog's pointing the other way. And this guy's saying, what do you want from me? And then Robert De Niro says, hey, he looks a little like someone we know. Because he looks like Batts, the guy they just fucking killed in the trunk. So they're laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Now, imagine that gets paused when the mom is holding her painting up of the two dogs and the old guy. That is now paused at the Brooklyn bodega. The owner is now standing in front of said television with the painting that's the two dogs and the guy. Okay. It was such a meta moment. And the fact that I was there for that moment, and then he had the painting and the moment, and then he had to pause it, and it was, this is why I love New York. One of the many reasons, Nixon 5. So I also had a really good time at a show in Midtown that had a rocking horse on the stage, like a child's rocking horse, with the erky. And I just climbed aboard. I couldn't believe no other comic had done that. They were acting as if it was kind of in the way the whole time. And I was like, I'm all aboard. The love train. Erky. It was so great. I just wanted to mention that. I also have had sex. Ha ha! Erky. Yeah. But we'll get to that. Because I had a gentleman come into town. He was visiting his sister, and I know him from another town, but he was here visiting his sister, and he happened to come and visit with me. And we went to the movies. We had a proper date. We went to the movies, and then he came over to my apartment and like brown chicken, brown cow. And I have to tell you, this sex was very, 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 very good. And it felt really, 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 really good. And I'll tell you what, with the other guy that I was talking to you about before, months back, I would say last year, right, in 2025, he was a good finger banger, but I didn't, it wasn't, my body seemed to reject. Like I had thought maybe I had come to that time in life where it was time for me to not and get a little lube out, but I didn't need any lube. It's plenty of moisture, plenty of moisture. I actually asked my auntie that one time, Auntie, do we get dry like as I get older? Am I going to get all dried up? And she goes, Not in this family. No women in this family are dry. I was like, okay. Thumbs up. But something about my body rejecting that last one because it just wasn't right. And then this one took it right in, just delightful, and not any real difference in the old size-orama. Maybe even this guy just now, bigger. Huh, how's that? It was psychologically the right thing to do, and I didn't like the other one psychologically. And it was like subconscious. It was subconscious. I didn't really realize at the time, but then I realized quickly after because he had no boundaries, no sense of boundaries. When I asked for boundaries, there were none. There were none. It was as if it was all an illusion that I wanted a boundary, and he had no time for it. And going over the boundaries and sending things and writing things, and oh no, sir, stop it. Stop. I said stop, and I say stop again. Anyway, that is in the past. This was just the other week. Last week? Oh my God, it was last weekend. It was just last Friday. And it was just splendid and spectacular and lovely. Now, I don't have any want for this man to come back and to be my boyfriend or something like this. I just wanted to have a little fun, get a little inside action. So I did. And we saw this movie, it was called No Picnic, and it was from 1983. It was like an art film. We saw it down in an art theater, and it was very artsy, and we were feeling very cultured like yogurt. And on the walk back, we're discussing. And I like that. I like that a lot. So it was a bit of a amble to the old in out. So isn't that lovely? Then the next day, we all gathered together and we went to this magical place called the Mermaid Parade. And the Mermaid Parade, my loves, it's been happening for 44 years. So it's when everyone gathers in Coney Island and they all have on the most spectacular and delicious under the sea costumes. That's right, under the sea, that's you and me, under the sea. So myself, this gentleman caller, friends from Los Angeles that were visiting here, best friend Shannon, husband Michael, that was a good time too. And we all gathered, and also with my best friend Juliet out there, and she had a dude with her. Like, it was just so fun in the sun. Now, I knew that the guy who I had the old with was probably not going to be my everything because he was just very different, and I really like him. He's a very sweet young man. Young. He's age appropriate. But when our friend exclaimed at the end of the Mermaid Parade, "My God, it's a tits and ass bonanza here," my gentleman friend said, "Oh gosh." And I thought, well, that's a funny thing to say. Anyway, Mermaid Parade, we were there from 1 p.m. until 11 p.m. We had stayed for the whole sunset and the beach and the night. And like, it's something about New York City in the summertime. It doesn't get cold in the night. Like, it stays warm. It's not like in California where, it's the desert, so you're fucking freezing when the sun goes down. Here, it's an island. You get to have tropical feels. So that was so much fun to see how creative everyone is, and to also feel like New York City, you're not as stale and as stupid as we think sometimes, because sometimes you look around New York and you go, "Ugh, the apartments are $5,000. Everyone's wearing the same outfit. No one's talking to one another. This is so uninteresting." And then a day like the Mermaid Parade comes along and you go, "Forget it. I love you, New York. I love you." I also brought my friends who are visiting over to Mermaid Avenue. Mermaid Ave, that's right, to the home of Mr. Bing Bong himself. Fuck your life, FYL, lifers. How you doing? You're gonna come to my brick and mortar shop. Don't ever disrespect me coming over here with your bunch of your fucking tourist friends. Like, it's so funny about Mermaid Avenue in Brooklyn and Coney Island is that you can be at the park, amusements, cotton candy apples, rides, win, prizes. And then you walk just a few blocks over to the south, and you're back in New York, like real fucking New York, like like you hear the drug whistles, you hear the cop whistles, you hear what people are doing, what people are up to. So we're about to turn the corner onto Mermaid Avenue, and my friend goes, "Hey, are we going to the hood?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right." And so we went into the hood. And as soon as we turned, we saw the whole gaggle and the crew. We saw the FYL people. We saw Byron. Byron! Do you remember Byron? This Thanksgiving, what are you thankful for? Beans, rice, Jesus Christ, and Byron. Who? Byron. Who? Byron. So if you know, you know. And he was there and he waved at me. He was lying on the ground, Byron. He waved at me. So I felt like that was nice. They remembered me. We got to see Mr. Bing Bong himself, the Gorilla Nems. They opened the shop back up for us because they had pulled the grate down. And I was like, "Oh no, the grate's going down. Hey, Bing Bong, fuck your life. We fucking missed it. What the fuck?" And they were like, "Oh, if you buy something, we'll open it." I was like, "Okay." I go, "Look, I brought my friends. I don't know if they're going to buy anything. They just wanted to check out your store." And they're like, "All right, bring it up, bring it up." So they brought it up. And then Mr. Grillas came over and he gave me a little hug. I said, "Yeah, hug it out, Pally. How you doing there, pal? It's been a minute. Nixon. 5, baby." So I brought them over there, and a couple people bought stuff. So I felt really good about it. You must buy from the independent artists. You must buy from the small stores. I hope none of you have done any Amazon Prime, anything like that. That Jeff Bezos doesn't need any more money from us. Who am I? Fucking, what's his name? Oh, Jerry Seinfeld from the 90s. So just a couple more stories, and then I will leave you again until next time. I could leave you wanting more here. I do have, oh, you know what? I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with a teaser for the next week's show. Do you remember the Punjabi poppy that I had over at the bodega? That was like my cutie pretend boyfriend. Well, I've got a story about him. That's right. Do you remember the fact that I get talked to by craziest people in the city? Well, guess what? One of them sang to me. That's right. So next week, you're going to tune in and you're going to hear the serenade, the Punjabi poppy. I got 2 of those separate poppies. And I've done a lot of selling this month. Sold a lot of shit. I feel like something's going on. The purge, taking care of oneself, getting rid of things. Spring cleaning, if you will. And now it is the summer. Happy summer, my lovers. Happy summer, my BONERSs. I love you so much for watching. I love you for listening. I love you for whatever is happening right now with you in your life. And I do hope that I hear from you. Won't you just leave me a little hello when you've done the show, when you finish the show? Will you stop and maybe send me a little message? I would love that. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Get Wood, and you can pre-order my album. I'm going to put the link in the notes here, and watch Robin Bird's documentary. Baby, won't you bang my box? That's what I'd like to know. All right. Love you, and I'll talk to you next week, because Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week. Love you. Yes. I